Okay, good morning. Welcome to the ribs as moved by your breath. So, I'm going to start this one by saying we want to be really careful in that we don't force a movement into this space, because this is our heart and lung area. This is where we store, the energies of love, grief, protection. And we don't want to upset what we've got going on, regardless of whether tension is causing an issue or not. It's protecting you at the same time. You've developed it to protect yourself, and so we don't want to push that around. So what we're going to be focusing on is the back of our body. So with the Kahuna training, the back of the body is the future. The back of the body is how we propel ourselves forward. So if you think about how to get forward momentum, what we all seem to do is pull ourselves up, push everything to the front of our body, lift our legs, push them out long. But that is actually the back of our body. So we are holding all this energy and pushing all this energy into the past, which we can see, there's a lot of issues around emotional healing and trauma. And there's no movement in the back of the body. We've got the back of the body ratcheted down and really shortened to allow this to happen and to create this to happen. So we're really working with some deep balance issues here, and that is not just physically, it's everything. So the back of the body being the future, because we can't see it. We can't go there with our physical vision. And that's what's so beautiful about it. We don't need to go there. We can actually just be here right now, balanced and moving forward in life at the correct speed at the correct time. So the back of the ribs has been shut down and locked. So that's the back of our heart, the back of our lungs has been shut down and locked. So there's no moving forward in those energies. The key thing for that is holding our shoulders up and back. And core strengthening, which locks everything down, shuts everything off. So how it's meant to move, and I love the idea of the louver windows. I love the idea of the Venetian blinds, the gills of a fish, like the 7-gill shark. It shows you how the movement is. Now, we're going to lie down in a second, and I'm going to talk you through how it feels and how to refine how you're looking at how it feels, because what we're doing is we're actually, the lift in our breath, the lift of our body from our breath is actually coming from the bones and the tissues being pushed into the ground. So it's almost like the pressure increases, almost like we're bouncing. It's almost like we're bouncing up off the ground, and then once the lungs are filled, we drop into that space. The lungs fill, the bones open, that lifts us up, and then boof, we fall down. So if we're lying on the carpet, we're lying on the bed. Maggie's helping. Maggie, would you like to? Thank you. If we're lying down, think of our ribs, the bottom edge of our rib. If we're flat on the ground, our ribs are flat. But if we are dynamic and moving and our breath is moving us, what happens when our lungs fill is the ribs at the back of the body and the spine at the back of the lungs, so the thoracic spine, they open at the bottom. So they open like a louver window. They open like a Venetian blind. And the bottom edge of each of the ribs opens. So you can see it pushes in to the floor. So it can't push the floor out of the way. So we're the ones that get lifted. This is a beautiful thing about working on the floor. So it pushes into the floor, lifts the body up, all of the tissues around the bones soften and they make space for this to happen, and they become plump and juicy. So each rib opens, lifting the body off the floor. Oof. Then once the exhale comes and the ribs flatten, there's this release into that space. So it's not that the ribs are coming back up, it's that the ribs are being flattened closed by the weight of our body, the release of our exhale landing in that space. The movement of the fluids, so anything other than bones, all the soft tissues, the movement of the fluids is that the fluids are pushed out, opening, because that's the way the bones move, opening the bottom edge of each bone. And then when you exhale and we drop into that space, think of, there's fluids in front of these things. They're flicked. The fluids are pushed down as the body is dropped into that space, because that's an angle coming, it's like a fan like a blade in water. So that happens. So there's a small propulsion of the fluids of our body down the back of our body. So down the back of the rib cage, which is what is part of that fluid movement through the lower back towards the pelvis. So the whole body, the whole back line of the body is moving down with the exhale. So that's propulsion for you. So you lean, your weight rests back, drops back to push you forward. Whether you're walking, whether you're getting up on your hands and knees and pushing yourself off the ground, your weight drops back to push you forward.